The armada broke out of hyperspace above Earth's moon in a blinding lattice of light. 3,000 warships arranged in the perfect geometric bloom of the Valkyrie Dominion's battle doctrine. For 10,000 years, that formation had preceded the fall of 41 civilizations. It had never failed. Commander Draven stood on the observation deck of Earth's orbital defense platform, hands clasped behind his back, watching the enemy fleet unfurl like a flower made of death. Beside him, fleet analyst Lyra scrolled through sensor data with the calm of someone reading a grocery list. "They're broadcasting," she said. Universal translators picking it up. The voice that filled the platform was resonant, ancient, dripping with the confidence of a species that had never lost. "Inhabitants of this world, you have been designated for annexation by the Valkyrie Dominion. Your resistance has been calculated and dismissed. Surrender your planetary defenses within 1 hour, or face total orbital bombardment." Draven exhaled slowly through his nose. 1 hour, he repeated. "That's generous of them." "Should we respond?" Lyra asked. "Might as well be polite." Draven tapped the comm panel. "This is Commander Draven of Earth's Combined Defense Fleet. You are currently occupying space that has been claimed, mapped, mined, and fortified for the last 40 years. We're going to give you the same courtesy you gave us. Run now. You've attacked the wrong species." There was a pause on the other end, the kind of pause that, if the Valkyrie had been capable of genuine surprise, might have indicated some. Then laughter, low and metallic, filled the channel. "A pre-industrial species threatens the Dominion. How amusing. Your world has no shipyards capable of producing war fleets. Our scans show no orbital weapons platforms of significance. This is bravado born of ignorance." Lyra glanced at Draven. "Should I tell them about the scans? Let them find out the fun way." 90 minutes later, when the Valkyrie fleet advanced past the moon's orbit, the Dominion's sensor officers reported something troubling. Their scans, so confident and thorough only hours before, had been wrong. Not slightly wrong, catastrophically wrong. What their instruments had read as scattered asteroid debris, sparse and unremarkable, resolved. The instant Earth's cloaking arrays powered down into 400 autonomous weapons platforms, each one bristling with rail cannons calibrated to fire in relativistic bursts. What had appeared to be inert satellites blinked to life as mobile carrier hubs, disgorging swarms of fighter drones that moved with a coordination the Valkyrie battle computers had never modeled, because humanity's drone swarm algorithms had been built not on military doctrine, but on flocking patterns borrowed from starlings, refined over decades of quiet, patient iteration. Commander Draven watched the enemy formation falter on the tactical display. "There it is," he murmured. "Confusion cascade beginning," Lyra confirmed, her fingers dancing across the console. "Their command ship is trying to recalculate. It's going to take them another 90 seconds to update their threat assessment." "They won't have 90 seconds. Earth's opening volley was not a display of overwhelming force. That would come later. It was a demonstration of precision. 400 rail cannons fired in a single synchronized pulse, each round finding not the largest ship, not the flagship, but the exact vulnerable seams in Valkyrie hull architecture that Earth scientists had spent 2 years reverse engineering from a single crashed scout vessel recovered off the coast of Iceland. 60 enemy ships lost primary shielding in the first 3 seconds. 40 of those lost hull integrity in the next 2. "Impossible," came the voice over the comm, no longer laughing. "Your technology should not. You based your assessment on our public infrastructure," Draven said. "The satellites you scanned, the radio signals you intercepted. You never considered that a species smart enough to survive its own history of nuclear standoffs, climate collapse, and 2 centuries of near misses might also be smart enough to hide its real teeth." Lyra pulled up a secondary display, watching drone swarms peel away from Earth's northern hemisphere and converge on the Valkyrie supply line. "Their reinforcement corridor is exposed. They didn't account for a defense in depth beyond low orbit. They didn't account for us having a defense in depth at all," Draven said. "The Dominion's 41 prior conquests. I read the files you pulled. Every single one of those civilizations fought a linear war. Front line, back line, capital done. We've had 100 years of doctrine built entirely around the idea that the first line of defense is a lie you tell your enemy. The Valkyrie flagship, A mountain of armor called the Orethus Vantage attempted a tactical retreat, a controlled withdrawal to regroup at the edge of the system. It was a sound decision by any conventional standard. Unfortunately for the Valkyrie, Earth strategists had anticipated exactly that. Draven, the mines, Lyra said. Detonate the field. 40 years of quiet mining operations in the outer belts had left behind more than ore. Scattered across the retreat vector, disguised as navigational debris, sat 12,000 dormant charges. Decades of patient, unglamorous engineering that no press release had ever announced, because there had never been anyone to announce it to. The charges woke in sequence, a rippling curtain of fire that turned the Valkyrie's orderly withdrawal into chaos. Cease fire, the voice demanded, cracking now with something that was almost fear. We will discuss terms. We will discuss withdrawal. Draven looked at Lyra. She looked back at him, and for a moment neither spoke. This was the part of the war that mattered more than the cannons and the mines. The choice of what kind of species Earth would be remembered as, assuming there was anyone left in the galaxy to remember them by. Tell them we accept, Draven said finally. But tell them the price. Lyra opened the channel. Her voice was steady, without triumph, without cruelty, just fact, delivered plainly, the way she delivered everything. This is Fleet Analyst Lyra of Earth's Combined Defense Fleet. Your withdrawal is accepted on the following terms. You will surrender your fleet's navigational cores so that we may verify your departure route leads outside our system. You will provide full records of the 41 civilizations you have previously annexed so that we may determine what assistance, if any, they require. And you will carry a message back to whatever authority commands the Valkyrie Dominion. State your message. The voice said, subdued now, the arrogance long since burned away with the first 60 ships. Tell them this, Lyra said. Earth did not build its strength to conquer. We built it because history taught us that peace without the capacity for defense is just a delay before someone takes it from you. We are not interested in your territory. We are not interested in your resources. But if you or anyone allied with you comes to this system with the intention of harming what lives here, we will not offer a warning next time. We will simply be waiting, as we always have been. There was a long silence. Then, quietly, almost involuntarily, understood. The Valkyrie fleet, or what remained of it, some 400 vessels out of 3,000, limped toward the system's edge under the watchful eye of Earth's drone swarms, which escorted them not out of hospitality, but out of an insistence on verification. Draven didn't relax until the last enemy signature blinked out of sensor range, folding into hyperspace. Only then did he let out a breath he hadn't realized he'd been holding. Casualties? He asked. 0, Lyra said, and there was something almost disbelieving in the way she said it, even though she'd run the simulations 100 times before this day ever came. Not one. Not a single platform lost. Not a single drone destroyed beyond routine attrition. Draven nodded slowly, looking out at the quiet dark where the battle had been. Below them, Earth turned on, indifferent and unaware for the most part. Billions of people who would wake up tomorrow to news of an averted invasion, most of whom would never fully grasp how close the margin had been, or how long the margin had taken to build. 40 years, he said. 40 years of building things nobody was supposed to know about, preparing for a day we hoped would never come. And it came anyway, Lyra said. It came anyway, Draven agreed. But we were ready. That's the only part that ever mattered. He turned from the window, already thinking of the reports that would need writing, the alliances that would need forming, the long, quiet work of rebuilding trust with a galaxy that had just learned, in the space of 90 minutes, exactly what kind of neighbor it had been ignoring. Earth had not asked to be found. But now that it had been, it intended to be remembered, not as prey, but as the world that had, without a single casualty, taught an empire the oldest lesson in war: never underestimate the quiet ones.